Welcome back, dear students. Now we are dealing with the chapter 2, morphology of reproductive parts. So in this chapter we already finished the inflorescence, flower. Here we are studying the different floral wholes or floral parts, that is calyx, corolla, androecium and gynoecium. So the first two, that is the calyx and corolla, that we finish. Now in this lecture we are going to study the androecium. So androecium is the third whole of the flower or third part of the flower, which is essential for reproduction. So this is the androecium. It is the third floral whole. It is one of the essential or necessary floral whole for reproduction. It is made up of one or more stamens or microsporophylls. The stamens are the male reproductive organs of a flower. It produces pollen grains or microspores. Each stamen consists of a slender stalk-like filament supporting a knob-like anther and connective. So these are the parts of the androecium: filament, anther and connective. So androecium is the third floral part that is found in the flower. It is one of the essential or necessary floral whole. It is required for the reproduction. So we say it is the necessary or essential. It is made up of one or more stamens. The stamens are the male reproductive organ of a flower. In the stamen, the pollen grains or the microspores are produced after meiosis, and each stamen consists of anther, filament and connective. So filament is a slender stalk of the stamen. It supporting a knob-like anther and connective. So this is the structure of the androecium. The individual member of the androecium, it is called as the stamen. So this is the stamen. This is the dorsal view of the stamen, where we can see the slender stalk called as the filament, on which a knob-like anther has been present, and the anther and filament, this anther and filament are connected by means of a sterile tissue called as the connective. Okay, this is the ventral view, where we can see the sutures through which the anther dehiscence has been takes place. So during the dehiscence of the anther, the pollen grains has been released for the process of pollination. So anther consists of two anther lobes. Here we can see clearly, this is the one anther lobe, this one is the another one anther lobe, and the dehiscence occurs in each anther lobe, here also and here also. So through this, the pollen grains has been released for the pollination. Okay, so this is the androecium. Individual member is the stamen, and stamen consists of anther, filament and connective. Okay, this is androecium. Now the parts of a stamen. So the first part that we call it as a filament, which is a slender stalk. It may be long or short and sometimes absent. A stamen without filament is known as the sessile stamen. Like the sessile flower, if the flower is without pedicel, the flower is sessile. Similar is the when a stamen is without filament is known as sessile stamen. Okay. So in resinous, filaments are branch. So in this diagram we can see this. Here the filament is the branch. So this is the filament of the stamen, which is branch. So branched filament has been seen in the resinous, where we can say the stamen is branch because of the filament of the stamen is branch. Okay. So what is filament? Filament is a slender stalk-like structure which holds the anther. So in resinous, filaments are branch. So in this diagram we can see clearly, here the filament is branch. Okay. So this is the photograph of resinous, where we can clearly see the branched filament of the stamen. Okay. In Calotropis, the filaments bear horny appendages forming staminal corona. So here these are the horn-like appendages. Here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So these are the staminal corona, where the filaments bear the horny appendages. So such type of filament has been seen in the Calotropis. It is referred as staminal corona. Corona, C-O-R-O-N-A, staminal corona. What happened here? The filaments bear horny appendages forming a staminal corona. So these are the horny appendages seen in this flower of the Calotropis that form a staminal corona. Here this is the photograph where we can clearly see the staminal corona. These are the horny appendages that is seen in the Calotropis flower. They are called as staminal corona. So this staminal corona has been formed by the filaments that bear horny appendages. So these are the horn-like appendages or horny appendages forming the staminal corona. For example, Calotropis. The connective is next part is the connective. The connective is a group of tissue. Mostly these are the sterile tissue connecting the two anther lobes. So connective is present below the anther which connect the filament and anther. So connective is a group of tissue connecting the two anther lobes. It is an extension of the filament and forms conducting strands. In Salvia, the connective is a long stalk like body arranged across on the filament separating the two anther lobes. Okay, so this is the one anther lobe, this is another anther lobe. The connectin is found between the two anther lobe, but in Salvia the connective is like a long stalk arranged across on the filament. So this is the filament where this connective has been arranged like a long stalk which separate the two anther lobe. Okay, so this is the one anther lobe, this is another anther lobe. So this anther lobe which is sterile and this one is fertile. So these two anther lobes are separated by means of a long stalk like body arranged across the filament separating the two anther lobes. So this is a different condition found in the Salvia. So such type of connective, it is distractible connective which separate the two anther lobes. Okay, so connective which is a group of tissue connecting the two anther lobes, but in Salvia the connective is a long stalk like body arranged across the filament separating the two anther lobes. Okay, such type of connective is a distractible connective found in the Salvia. In Nerium, the connective is prolonged into a feathery appendage at the top of the sagittate anther. So here the connective is feathery, it possesses feathery appendage. So such type of connective, it is appendiculate, that was found in the Nerium. It possesses the feathery appendage. Okay, so connective is prolonged into a feathery appendage at the top of a sagittate anther. Here the anther is below the connective, it forms a feathery appendage. Generally we found that the connective is a group of tissue that connect the two anther lobe, but in Nerium that connective has been prolonged into a feathery appendage at the top of this anther. So such type of connective is a appendiculate connective, and we can say the anther is appendiculate anther that possesses a feathery appendage. Okay, so this is another one change that we found in the Nerium. So this is the Nerium flower where we can see the appendiculate anther where the connective is prolonged into a feathery appendage at the top of the sagittate anther. For example, Nerium. Next, so this is the next part of the stamen, that is the anther. As you know that the stamen has been made up of anther, filament and connective. Okay, so in the first few slides we studied the filament, then the connective. Now we are going for the anther. So anther has been present at the tip of the filament. Each anther consists of two anther lobes that are joined together by means of a connective. Each anther lobe contains two pollen sacs or microsporangia. Each anther thus possesses 4 pollen sacs. So there are two anther lobe. Each anther lobe possesses or contains two pollen sacs or microsporangia. So each anther thus possesses four pollen sacs, 2 into 2, because each anther lobe having two pollen sacs or microsporangia. There are two anther lobes, so 2 into 2, that is the 4. So each anther thus possesses 4 pollen sacs. The anther at maturity dehisce and liberate the pollen grain outside. So this is occurred for the process of pollination, where the anther has been dehisces to liberate the pollen grain, to release the pollen grain outside. The dehiscence of the anther may be longitudinal, transverse, porous or valvular. The anther is the essential part of the stamen, but if it is absent, the stamen is known as sterile stamen, because in such stamen the pollen grains are not able to produce, or the functional pollen grains are not able to produce. If it is absent in the stamen, if the anther is absent in the stamen is known as sterile stamen or staminode. Staminode are present in canna, which is petaloid, which looks like a petal, so it is petaloid. So such sterile stamen or staminodes that are present in canna. A mature pollen grain or microspore is usually spherical. So this microspore, which is spherical, it has two wall layers. The outer layer is called as exine and the inner layer is called as intine. So here we are studying the structure of the pollen grain or a mature microspore. It has two wall layers. The outer one, which is thick, called as the intine, while inner layer, which is thin, called as intine. The exine is thicker with smooth, spiny or with various sculptured outer surface, while the intine is thin and smooth. So the exine is thick and with some spiny structures or sculptured outer surface, while intine is thin and smooth. The pollen grains are uninucleate, that is, they are haploid bodies developed from the diploid pollen mother cell after meiosis, present in anther lobes. Pollen grains on germination produces pollen tube bearing two male gametes. So these pollen grains, when they are released from the anther, they are falls on the stigma of the flower. Okay, these are uninucleate or haploid bodies that has been developed from the diploid pollen mother cell present in the anther lobe after meiosis. So once the pollen grain has been landed on the stigma, they get germinate, means they form the pollen tube, where the pollen nucleus get divided mitotically to produce the two male gametes. So the mature pollen grain after anthesis possesses the pollen tube that bears two male gametes. So this is the male reproductive structure of the flower, where the pollen grain get germinate, it forms the pollen tube, and inside the pollen tube it bears the two male gametes. So this is about the anther. The anther has been present at the top of the filament. Each anther consists of two anther lobes separated by means of a sterile tissue called as the connective. Each anther lobe contains two pollen sacs or microsporangia. Hence each anther possesses four pollen sacs. Okay, this pollen grains has been releases after the dehiscence of the anther for the process of pollination. In some plant, for example canna, this anther is absent in the stamen, so such stamen is known as sterile stamen or staminode. So such staminodes are present in the canna, which is petaloid. The pollen grains that has been released after anthesis having two walls, outer wall and inner wall. The outer layer or the wall, which is thick and spiny, called as exine, while inner wall is thin and smooth, called as intine. Pollen grain is a uninucleate or haploid that has been developed from the diploid pollen mother cell in the anther lobe after meiosis, and after the germination of pollen, it from the pollen tube that bears the two male gametes. So this is about the anther. Next is the cohesion. When members of the same whole of a flower fuse with each other, the phenomenon is known as the cohesion. So cohesion is the fusion or the union of the members of the same whole of a flower. We are dealing with the androecium. So here the whole is androecium, the individual member is the stamen. When stamens are fused or united with each other, this phenomenon is called as the cohesion of stamens. So cohesion is the phenomenon where when members of the same whole of a flower fuse with each other, the phenomenon is called as the cohesion. So in a flower, when stamens are fused together, it is called cohesion of stamens. On the basis of nature and degree of cohesion of stamens, it is classified into three types: adelphi, syngeny and synandry. So in adelphi, only the filaments of the stamens unite while the anthers remain free. So these different categories has been made for cohesion of the stamen on the basis of nature and degree of fusion. In case of adelphi, only filaments of the stamens are united while anther remains free. If you remember the parts of the stamen consists of anther, filament and connective. So in adelphi, only the filaments of the stamens are united while the anther remains free. In syngeny, anthers are fused but filaments are free. Anthers are united but the filaments are free. While in synandry, filaments as well as anthers are fused or united. So three conditions we seen here. First condition, filaments unite, anthers free, adelphi. Anthers united, filaments free, syngeny. Filaments and as well as anthers are fused, synandry. Okay, so these three types of cohesion has been seen in stamen in androecium. So first we are going to study the adelphi. This adelphi has been further classified into three types. The first one is the monoadelphous. Mono means single. Adelphi where the filaments are united, anther is free. Okay, so that condition we called it as adelphous condition. So in adelphi there are three more types: monoadelphous, diadelphous and polyadelphous. The first one we are going to study, that is the monoadelphous. Okay, when all the filaments are united together into a single bundle, mono, single, one, but the anthers are free. So monoadelphous stamens are those where all the filaments are united together into a single bundle but the anthers are free. So this is seen in the hibiscus where the filaments are united that form a staminal tube while the anthers are free. The filaments are united into a tubular structure called as the staminal tube. So the filaments of the different anther, they get united to form a tubular structure called as the staminal tube, and anther remain free. Here on the top we see the anther, the anthers are free. For example, hibiscus. And through this staminal tube, long style of the pistil has been passes. Okay, so pistil, that is the gynoecium, where we can see the stigma, style and ori. So inside this staminal tube, the long style of the pistil has been present. So this staminal tube has been formed by the union or the fusion of the filaments that has been united together into a single bundle. So the condition is monoadelphous, where the anthers are free. And due to the union of the filament, it forms a tubular structure called as the staminal tube, and anther remains free. For example, hibiscus. So this is the photograph of the hibiscus where we can see the filament which is united to form a tubular structure called as the staminal tube while the anthers are free. Okay, in hibiscus. The condition is monoadelphous. Mono, the filaments are united into a single bundle. So it is monoadelphous and anthers are free. Okay. Next to this is the diadelphous. The filaments of the stamens are fused to form two separate bundles. Di means two. So here the filaments of the stamens are united to form the two separate bundles. In Fabaceae family, the filaments of 9 stamens fuse to form one bundle. Here is the one bundle, and the 10th stamen remains free as a second bundle. So there are two bundles. One bundle is formed by the union of filaments of 9 stamens, while the 10th stamen, which is free, which remains free, whose filament is free, whose anthers are free. So such condition, it is the diadelphous condition found in the family Fabaceae, for example Clitoria. So in Clitoria there is a diadelphous condition. Di means two, here adelphi means union of the filament but the anthers are free. Here two bundles has been seen, so the condition is diadelphous. In the hibiscus we see in the monoadelphous condition where the filaments are united to form a single bundle, but in Clitoria there is a diadelphous condition where the filaments of the stamens are united or fused to form two separate bundles. Okay, so there are 10 stamens, out of which the filaments of 9 stamen fuse to form a one bundle. So this is the one bundle, and the 10th stamen remains free as a second bundle. This is the diadelphous condition. So this is the photograph of Clitoria flower where these 9 stamens, the filaments of the 9 stamen, they are united, they are fused to form one bundle, while the 10th stamen, which is free, as a second bundle. So this is the diadelphous condition in Clitoria. Okay, these are the 9 stamen, this is the 10th one. These 9 stamen, they are united through their filament but the anthers are free. This is the one bundle, while the 10th one is completely separate, so it forms a second bundle. So it is a diadelphous stamen in Clitoria. Okay, now the polyadelphous. Poly means many, so it forms the many bundles. The filaments of the stamens are fused so as to form 3 or more distinct bundles. So when there are more than 2 bundles, we can say 3 or more distinct bundles, such condition is polyadelphous. Adelphous means filaments are united, stamens are free. So the filaments of the stamens are fused so as to form 3 or more distinct bundles, for example Clitoria. So here we can see the 3 bundles here where the stamens are, where the anthers are free but the filaments are united. This is the one, this one is the second, and this one is the third. Okay, so when the filaments of the stamens are fused so as to form 3 or more distinct bundles, that condition is called as polyadelphous, and it is the characteristic of family Rutaceae, for example citrus. So here this is the photographs of citrus flower where we can found the 3 or more distinct bundles. So such condition is a polyadelphous condition where the filaments are united but the stamens are free, and these filaments of the stamens are united to form 3 or more distinct bundles. Such condition is polyadelphous condition. Okay, so this is about the adelphi. There are 3 types: monoadelphous, diadelphous and polyadelphous. So what happen in monoadelphous? The filaments of the stamens are united to form a single bundle but the anthers are free. So due to the union of the filament, it forms a tubular structure called as the staminal tube, and this is found in the hibiscus flower, monoadelphous condition. Second one is the diadelphous condition where the filaments of the 9 stamens are united to form one bundle, while the 10th stamen remain free and it forms the second bundle. So this is found in the Clitoria. So in all it forms the 2 separate bundles, diadelphous condition. Next is the polyadelphous condition where the filaments of the stamen are fused so as to form 3 or more distinct bundles, for example citrus, which is the characteristic of family Rutaceae. The condition is the polyadelphous, more than 2, that is 3 or more distinct bundles has been formed by the union of filaments of the stamens. Such condition is a polyadelphous. Okay, so this is about the adelphi. Next to this is the syngeny. So what is the syngeny? In the syngeny, anthers are united, anthers are fused, while the filaments are free. That is called as the syngeny. So in syngenesis type of the cohesion, anthers of the stamens are fused together, but the filaments remain free. Anthers are united, filaments are free. Syngenesis anthers form a tube enclosing the style and stigma. So inside this syngenesis anther, stigma and style has been present, which is a part of the androecium, and it is found in the family Asteraceae, for example Tridax. Which condition? Syngenesis condition. Syngeny means there is a fusion of the anther, but the filaments are free. So anthers of the stamens are fused together, but the filaments remain free. So this union of the anther forms a tube that enclosing the style and the stigma. So this is the syngenesis anther, which is found in the family Asteraceae, for example Tridax. So this is the photograph of the Tridax, where we can see the union of the anther, but the filaments are free. So this condition is called as syngenesis anther, and the condition is called as syngeny. Anther is called as syngenesis anther, and the condition is syngeny, for example Tridax. Next is the synandry. So here both anther and filaments are united or fused. So it is the complete cohesion or the union of stamens along with the filament and anther. Both filament and anther are united. So in this diagram we can see clearly the filaments are united and the anthers are also united. Both the filaments and anthers of the stamens completely unite with each other. This condition is known as synandry, and the stamens are called as synandrous stamens. For example, Cucurbita. In family Cucurbitaceae, the composite structure of two stamens show complete union of the filaments and anthers. There is a complete union of filament and anther. The filaments are united, filaments are fused, as well as anthers are also united. So such condition is synandry. In Adelphi, filaments are fused, anthers are free. In syngeny, anthers are united, filaments are free. While in synandry, both filament and anther are united. So that is found in the family Cucurbitaceae, synandrous stamen of Cucurbita, where the anthers are united, filaments are united. Okay. So such condition is found in the family Cucurbitaceae, synandrous condition. Okay. So this is the photograph of Cucurbita, where we can found the synandrous condition. Here the filaments that has been united. Again the anthers are also united. The condition is synandry, and the stamen is called as synandrous stamen. So here is the complete cohesion or the union of stamens along with the filament and anther. Okay, synandry. Next to this is the adhesion. So this adhesion we can see in the next lecture. So this is all for today. Thank you. Stay home, stay safe.